Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you are in the world. You're here on the W.O.R.K.S platform with your host, Sabrina Ben Salmi on the Dream Big Show. I'm here with my guest today, who's Anna Uganusi. Anna is a fab transformation coach, fitness instructor, personal trainer, certified NLP practitioner, and ABN NLP and empowerment coach. Anna helps her clients to establish a healthy lifestyle by focusing on the three areas of their lives: nutrition, fitness, and mindset. Anna, welcome to the show. I'm really looking forward to you expanding on those three key areas. It's quite interesting that you've identified those being the three main points that we need to focus on to have a healthy body, mind, and soul lifestyle. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Sabrina.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. So yeah, could you tell the listeners, actually, not so much about yourself, but tell the listeners about who you are. Who is Anna behind all the labels?
Well, Anna is a person who's very passionate about health, and quite interesting. If you looked at me maybe 3 years ago, that was not really the case. But mainly thanks to my husband, I had a chance to discover who I really am and what I really want. And with his help in the mindset area and empowerment, and then discovering my passion for health and fitness, it just came together that that's the way I can serve people and help people with their lives.
That's beautiful. Because I was saying when I met you, you're so slim, and how did you do? I always thought you was always like that. Could you talk on a bit about, I know you're involved in fitness, but perhaps your own personal journey. What made you take heed of, the way you eat and taking your health seriously?
Yeah, if you met me for the, let's say, 5 years ago, I worked for a company that was all about health, about traditional Chinese medicine. It was actually a multi-level marketing company, but I was working for them as an employee. And I was responsible both for business and product trainings. So I was teaching our distributors how to promote the products, what do the products do, how it can improve their quality of life and their customers' quality of life. So I had all the theory, but I was the kind of person who wouldn't have breakfast, who would come to work, have a cup of coffee. Probably around 10, 11, I would have a sweet snack. I would have some takeaway for lunch if I had time for lunch. And then I would meet my boyfriend at the time in the city when I lived in Czech Republic in Prague. And we would have a takeaway. Most of the time it would be KFC bucket. And so, yeah, very specific. And some fizzy drink and something sweet like ice cream, and go home and have some fruits, really chill. Sometimes we would go and play basketball, so it's not like we are completely couch potatoes and we wouldn't eat fruits and veg. But yeah, we didn't have the balance quite right. And then a few years later, down the line of doing this kind of practicing this kind of busy lifestyle, not eating on regular basis, not exercising on regular basis, but still everyone telling me that I'm looking good, I ended my relationship and I met my husband at the moment. And he was, well, my husband is older than me, and he was my inspiration because when he came out of his relationship, his health was not the best, and he decided to do something about it, and he achieved amazing results within a short period of time. So at the time when I met him, he was very active, he was running, he was going to the gym, he was eating pretty well. There was still always space for improvement, but he was pretty well with his diet. And I was like, damn it, if he's that good and if he can run more than I can, him being 18 years older than me, I was like, I have to do something about it. Yeah, so that's where my really the journey started, where I took all the theory that I learned during the 5 years when I was with that company, and now it was time for me to put it in practice. So when we started dating, I was like running every single day. I was much more conscious about my diet. I started eating oats and porridge for breakfast and really making sure
Wow.
I had breakfast. So he was the catalyst. And then with his help, with my mindset and his empowerment knowledge, then it was amazing combination of the nutrition, fitness, and mindset that allowed me to launch my own fitness business in March this year.
Congratulations. Well, tell us a bit more about your
Thank you.
fitness business that you've just launched.
Yes, so I created a fitness business. I call myself the Fat Transformation Coach because I believe it's not about weight loss or getting your summer body ready for 2 months or even in the UK, it's like for a week, you know.
Yes, exactly. That tends to be it. I want to look good for just between here and there when I'm on holiday.
Yeah, I believe it's about a transformation of your lifestyle because we want you to be able to stick to the new habits forever. And for me, I'm here for the transformation transition period to hold your hand, to walk the path with you, so then eventually you can walk without my help because you will have all the practical and theoretical knowledge that you need and the skills to keep yourself on the healthy path. Yeah.
And I was really intrigued because I like I think what you shared is really interesting because we sometimes underestimate how our associations, our relationship, the people that we spend time with impacts us. You know, because like you're saying, your previous relationship, not saying that you were couch potatoes, but because perhaps your partner wasn't as active, you just thought, well, maybe I won't, you know, I can get away with it today. Whereas with your husband now, you both in a sense bounce off each other and you encourage each other to maintain these new lifestyle changes you've had, you know, to eat healthy. And I remember being at some events with yourselves, and I was really impressed with these new recipes you've come up with, and how you have these really interesting ways of having different things for lunch. Like, could you share some of that? I thought it was delicious. That you bake some lovely cookies and things like that. And I thought it'd be nice, so like you don't feel guilty when you're snacking on them.
Yeah, I think I'm lucky in a way that my husband's kids, I have two stepsons, they are 6 and 8. And in a weird way, I'm lucky because we have quite few intolerances. So they can have milk, they can have eggs, and other stuff. Therefore, I couldn't stick to my normal baking habit that I had from the Czech Republic, where we bake a lot, we eat quite heavy cuisine. And when we bake, we use a lot of white flour, a lot of sugar, a lot of eggs, and all those kind of things. And naturally, if you go on the internet and you try to research lactose-free or egg-free, you will usually end up with like the healthy versions, as in they are also sugar-free or at least refined sugar-free. So you end up with quite good recipes that you don't have to feel guilty about eating for lunch, which I most of the time end up doing, having a cake for lunch or cake for breakfast, because those are really nutritious recipes. So like it was our boy's birthday last weekend, so I made him a raw cheesecake, which was made of, there was no lactose, there were no eggs, there was no added sugar, and it was made of dates, prunes, almonds, walnuts, cashew nuts, lime juice, coconut oil, and blueberries. So it's the kind of thing that when you think about it, that's so nutritious that you can have it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and snack in between. And there is nothing wrong about it. It's actually the kind of thing that you should have because it's packed with nutrition, minerals, vitamins, everything you need.
Mm. Do you know what I really liked? When I met with you the last time, you put me on one of these, it looked like a scale, a weighing
Yeah.
scale. And I found that so fascinating. But what was really interesting for me wasn't just me recognizing, because I had like, I wasn't drinking enough water, and we can actually discuss that, how important it is for women to have a certain amount of men. But what was also interesting, just to see the reaction of other people when they was having their experiences. And how do you usually deal with that? That when you've kind of given someone saying, look, these are the areas that need to be addressed, and people just go, no. What tends to be the fears to making people stop as opposed to taking that action change or take their health seriously?
Well, I think the biggest problem, and that's not even about health, that's just in any areas, it's like we have certain habits, we have certain conditioning, and we are in our comfort zone. And we, as human beings, find it very hard to step out of the comfort zone, to go through the battles, to feeling uncomfortable, trying new things, having the hard time, to establish something new that eventually it might be better for us, but we just find the transition period very, very hard. And I know myself because I was brought up in a family. I can't say that our diet was poor or anything, but it was not the best. And when I was small, we had a candy shop. So in the evening, when there were some leftovers of cakes or ice cream, my father would bring it home. And at early stage of my life, being so conditioned to sugar, because we had a candy shop since I was, I think, 4 till I was 7, it had big impact on me throughout my life. So throughout my elementary school, high school, I was completely addicted to sugar. I would have to have at least one chocolate bar a day. My mom knew that that's something I need to have for school. And she just didn't know better, you know. She didn't have the knowledge about nutrition and how important it is, especially at the stage when we are developing. So then throughout my life, I was just sugar, sugar, sugar. And it came to the point when, at least I got to the point when I recognized that it was not a healthy thing for me to have and to stick to, that I was actually completely hooked up on sugar and I was addicted. And giving up on the sugar, I never wanted to give up completely because I still sometimes enjoy having processed sugar. But I think it's very important that we recognize that there's something we need to change and we are willing to go through the stages that I went with my sugar addiction. And then I was like, okay, if I want to go from complete craziness to moderate, I must go to the opposite of craziness, which is no sugar for 2.5 months, which
Oh,
I did. And it was an amazing, eye-opening experience for me where I would be literally rocking on the sofa
oh
and I would
wow.
be telling my husband, I'm like, all I'm thinking about is pancakes, ice cream, cake. And I was like, oh my God. But with time, you see, that's the hard time when most of the people will give up
Mm,
and give in and they just keep repeating the cycle and it's just showing them and they'll be telling you see I tried it, it didn't work for me, and they do it several times and they actually convince themselves completely that they can't do it. It's like with any
mm,
other new habit we want to, if someone wants to start, I don't know, if someone wants to write a book, you know, they will sit in front of your computer and they'll be telling you, oh, I have writer's block, oh, I have writer's block, or whatever
yes,
it is.
yes.
Or having a breakfast, oh, I don't have time for breakfast, oh, I forgot, you know. It's just the hardship
And,
of creating a new habit.
and is that where Fab comes in, Fab transformation? If they get like coaching from you so you can get them through that difficult spot.
Yes, exactly. So what I do for my clients, we do 8 weeks program where they get to work out with me once a week. If they're online clients, it works slightly differently, but with the locals, we meet once a week, we work out together, then they repeat the same workout at least 2 more times during the week. They do other activities on top of it, and we are in touch on daily basis. So I'm like, did you have your breakfast? Did you have your snack? Did you have your lunch? They share with me pictures what they have because the
Excellent. So they've got that accountability, nowhere to hide. So you can definitely.
yeah, and at the same time, they can get feedback from me because if I see a picture, you know, I can tell, okay, I can see there was a bit of dressing there. Like, oh yeah, I had some dressing from the salad.
Oh,
And I can explain to them, you know, okay, you can replace it with lime juice or with some
yes.
vinegar or something because, and I can educate them in that way as well. So we are in touch on daily basis. I share with them what I eat so they get a bit of inspiration because a lot of people have that healthy eating is very boring and bland. So I educate them on what they can eat, what they can combine, that they can actually cook healthy sauces and everything and make it really tasty. And I check with them, did you have your breakfast, your snack, your lunch, blah, blah, did you drink enough, did you do your workout? And also, it works both ways because they are my motivation and inspiration and they keep me accountable because I can't, you know, afford not to exercise at all because I have them coming in and I would
Beautiful.
love to work out with them. which my chiropractor, she doesn't like it. She said, you work out a bit too much. And I'm like, I'm not the kind of PT who will just stand there and tell you what to do. I do it with you. So you see me doing it, you see that if I don't give up, you shouldn't give up. And that works really well for me.
I really like the fact that you don't just work around fitness. You don't just say, okay, let's just exercise. You work around the mindset as well. And I think that's so amazing. That's what I like about you and Tozin's relationship, is that you double up, like a yin and yang, like you deal with different aspects, but the two seamlessly connect together. And how important do you think that is, that we realize that it's a lifestyle change? It's not just like you're saying a week or the summer body. It's like, this is something that you're choosing to transform into.
Yeah, I think the first thing is that you must be at the stage where you are conscious that you have a problem, because most of the people that I work with, they actually have some health issues that come from the fact that they don't have a healthy lifestyle. So they're overweight, or they have diabetes, they have cardiovascular problems as a result of their weight. And I think it's very difficult for people to come to the stage when they recognize they actually do have a problem. And if they are not at that stage, I can't actually help them. I can, but they want. Sometimes I feel like I want the results more for them more than they want it for themselves. So some people will tell me, I want just exercise, and I'm like, look, if you are overweight, we can't do just exercise, because that's really not going to help you if you keep eating crap. But they're like, no, I want just exercise, and I find it hard. That's why I usually go back to my husband. I'm like, I really, I'm upset with them. Why do they keep eating cakes and stuff? He's like, you can't want it for them more than they want it. So at least for me, I'm there, and they know that I'm there. That when they are ready to take the next step with the nutrition, we'll focus on the nutrition. But at least they are making a small step towards change.
But I think what's nice about you, what's unique for you, because you understand the mindset, you've got NLP background. Some people fail to understand the relationship between food. Like, although people say they're eating cake, there's usually a deeper meaning behind why is that their comfort food? Why if they go to that at that same, and there's all sometimes that pattern where they do that at a certain time in the day. It might be in the evening when they tend to relax. What do you tend to do in those situations?
I find this very interesting, and that's why I love meeting with people one-on-one when we have the PT session once a week or twice a week, or it varies. Because that's when you realize that it's not just a bad diet or just bad conditioning here. There's with most of the people, they might not open up straight away because they don't know me. But at the end, we come to the point when they actually admit, okay, something happened to me in my life. Because that's what I usually ask my clients. I'm like, at what point did you start eating like this? Or at what point did you really drastically put on weight? Because you can have bad diet, but you won't necessarily put on weight.
True, yes.
And we come back to the point that there was some very significant emotional experience that triggered this. So that's when the NLP skills definitely come in. So then I can help them at that point as well. As in, I have some clients who really want just weight loss, and you can see that within or the healthy lifestyle. So within 4 weeks, they will lose 10 centimeters in waist. They have amazing results because they are already mentally ready. They don't have really any emotional issues, and they will just go for it. They will listen. They have the target. Yes. And then I have clients that I still stick with for 8 weeks, and they just keep relapsing and relapsing. And I'm like, okay, I really want them to lose the weight, get healthy, get active. But at the end, they come to me and they're like now recently, I had a client, she just finished her 8 weeks. And she's like, those 8 weeks were not for me about really the fitness or the weight loss. That was like a breakthrough for me.
Oh.
She's like, it was more about the mindset. She's like, before I was too scared to go to the gym, or I didn't recognize that actually my weight was connected to some emotional stuff that I was developing and I went through in past. So now that she's very conscious and aware of it, and she's much more open to talk about it because she told me things that she never told anyone before, it's much easier to actually now start the new healthy lifestyle journey. So Those are the amazing things, and I think it's very important for PTs to recognize that some people, yeah, they just have bad diet, they just were
Yeah.
not active at all. That's why they are at the stage where they are right now. But for some people, it's much more deeper emotional issues. And if we don't tackle those people won't really get results, which means that their minds will be like, okay, I was through the exercising, I was even trying to eat well, nothing happened. There is no point to do it
Yes, exactly.
because you are just proving to your mind, right, that
Exactly.
it's never gonna work for you.
Told you it wouldn't work for me. Exactly. I've
Yeah.
tried this so many times and it just disconfirms. But this is
Yeah.
what I like about you and Tosin. Is that you're not just going to the gym. You're not just going for a workout. It's a lot deeper than that. And I like the fact that you get to the root, because when you get to the root, if you de-root that, you have a real significant change. So I just think it's amazing. The other thing I was going to ask, where are you heading with this? What's your vision? Why? Actually, before I ask that question, could I ask you to share what are the serious health implications if people are not willing to take their health seriously? Because I remember you talking to me about eating takeaway, like fast food, like eating all that fatty food, and then drinking the fizzy drink that is cold basically freezes the fat. And I found that quite interesting, because I never knew about that, but it made sense once you told me. Like, that has really stuck with me, and I tell my kids. And they've actually thought about it, going, oh, should we really be doing that? So sometimes we're rushing around and there's nothing really around. We haven't had time to pack a lunch. We might get takeaway. But since you've told us that, it kind of feels a bit yucky to do that. So what are the serious health implications if people are not realizing?
Well, there's a whole number of implications. It starts with us with just things such as you are putting too much pressure. If you are you can get overweight, you can get obese. You are putting that causes too much pressure on your joints, so you will have joint issues. You will have back pain. You can develop diabetes type 2. You can have cardiovascular disease. Your immune system in general is low. We our body is built in a way that we give it nutrition and it's just supposed to focus on utilizing the nutrition and making the body to be able to work as in breathing, our organs, our mental activity, and just moving around the whole day. Then we go to sleep, and that's the time when it's just supposed to focus on repairing the cells and being able to get up in the morning and do it again.
Yes.
But when the nutrition comes in and that poor nutrition where we eat excess processed sugar, excess fat as in saturated fat, excess salt intake, very little of water, a lot of fizzy drinks and stuff. Instead of our body just having to deal with the normal stuff as in moving us around, doing the mental activity, the organs working, all of a sudden it gets clogged with so much toxins, and so on top of the normal activity, it has to deal with those toxins just to keep us alive, because those are toxins that if the body is like, okay, I give up, there's too much for me, you will die because you just poison yourself. Those are poisons, and especially all the preservatives, additives, all the when you get like no sugar products, which means that there's a lot of stuff like sucralose, aspartame. Those are all chemicals. So all of a sudden your body has to deal with all this. And that's why then we struggle with like the normal stuff, such as we feel very tired, or our immune system is very low. So if there's any cold at school, our kids will get it, and every other week they're at home, they're sick because we put too much pressure on the body just with the poor diet.
Yeah. You mentioned before to me with regards to the water intake, how important that is, and especially you said it was different for male and female. Is that correct? Did I remember that correctly?
Yes, it's different for male and female. So the general guideline is 2.2 liters for female, 3 liters for men. However, that varies and it's very individual because the bigger you are, the more you need to drink. And if you have some physical activity, you naturally need to drink more. If you have poor diet, you actually need to drink even more. Because if you are putting toxins in your body, you need to dilute those toxins so you don't poison your body. So you need to flush them out with the water. Now, there's also an important thing what actually comes in as water intake. because a lot of people will be like, oh, I have 8 cups of coffee. I'm like,
Yes.
that's not water intake.
Yeah.
So I could make a whole list of stuff that which is not water intake, but what counts in as water intake is pure water, no sugar in it, nothing added in it, or water infused with fruit or herbs, that counts as well. Green
Yes.
tea, peppermint tea, those kind of things that count as well. But anything like uh, coffee, anything, oh my goodness, my computer's going crazy. Anything like coffee, juices, soda drinks, all those kind of things, actually they dehydrate us in a way. So those things we actually have to dilute with water. So
Yes.
the same amount of those things we drink, we have to drink the same amount of water just to neutralize it. So
Mm.
that water actually doesn't even count in our water intake. It's anything on top of that.
So that's interesting what you said about the feeling dehydrated, because you mentioned that on the test that I took, that my cells were pretty much dehydrated because I wasn't drinking a significant amount of water. So like what you said, some people drinking coffee and they've had no water at all and they get tired, but they're not really realizing that they're actually dehydrated, but they think they're hydrated because they're drinking the coffee.
Yes. It's very important, just when you are sleeping, when you wake up when you are sleeping, you are breathing, you are sweating. The first thing when you wake up in the morning should be at least you go to the toilet. So you just drink your sleep. You actually lose 1 liter of water. And we need water for our organs, we need water for our tissues, we need water for our blood, we need water in our eyes so they are not dry. Just for the body to function in a way, we need quite significant amount of water. And if we don't get enough water, then we are dehydrated. And another thing is that even when you start drinking quite a lot of water, if you don't combine it with good diet and exercise, it might not really work or increase your hydration because a lot of water is stored in our muscles. So if you have not enough, if you don't have enough muscle mass in your body, you can't actually be storing the water. So I have clients who are like, oh, I drink 4 liters, 5 liters of water. And I know that because I know them and I see them drink all the
Yes.
time. But because they are not physically fit, it's not really helping to
Wow.
increase the hydration.
So that's the importance where you come in to have offer that coaching, because I find all that quite complicated in a sense. Going, wow, I'm thinking I'm drinking water, I'm drinking a significant amount, but you're saying if I don't do this and do that. So it's nice to have you there holding your hand through that program, because then I can go, oh, Anna, how's this? Is this correct? Because I don't know what I don't know. So I think I'm doing it right. So it's quite interesting the way you've really explained it, because I'm going, wow, that's very, very important. How can listeners get in touch with you, Anna, so they can hear a bit more? Because I'm now intrigued to go, actually, I need to learn a bit more myself.
So I have a website which is the fattransformationcoach.com, or you can find me on Facebook as well, the Fat Transformation Coach, which is my Facebook page, or just send me a friend request on my personal profile, which is Anna Ogunusi. So it's ANNA, and Ogunusi is OGUNN for November, USA.
Thank you very much. I've read about some articles depicting the importance of sleep. How important is that in this whole healthy lifestyle transition? What would you think?
Well, sleep is very important because it's the time when we are giving our body a break, when we are not moving around, when we are not eating or anything. So that's the time when the body doesn't have to deal with the daily functioning, but can focus on repair. So if you don't have enough sleep, the cells in your body that need a bit of attention to get repaired, so you can work properly, you can move around properly, you can breathe, whatever properly. If those don't get the attention that they are supposed to get at sleep,
Yes.
then it definitely affects our life throughout the day. And also because there are certain minerals and substances that are released in the body and that work throughout the night. So if you don't get enough sleep and your cells can be repaired with those substances, That means that you're actually getting older faster.
Mm.
So there are many things that it definitely affects. But sleep, as adults, we should have anything between like 7 to 8 hours of sleep ideally. And that should be a sleep that you are actually deep asleep, not just being
Mm.
in bed and like moving around and thinking, oh, I can't sleep. And sleep is very much affected actually by our diet and by our activity, by our fitness, by our active lifestyle. So if you tackle those, because a lot of people have problem with sleep, they're like, oh,
Yes,
I
that's
can't
very true.
sleep.
Yes.
So they might want to have like stay in bed for 8 hours, but if they're just turning and twisting around, there's no point for them to be in bed. And that's when the diet and the active lifestyle comes in. So if you adjust those, you will get really good sleep as well.
So the guide for adults is 8 hours. How about the guide for children?
It depends on the age, so it
Okay.
quite varies. So newborns can sleep up to 18, 20 hours a day, and then it reduces with the age. But especially teenagers, because there's a lot of hormonal thing going on, they are growing a lot. Sometimes it may look like they're sleeping actually quite a lot. Like they sometimes they go to sleep and they will want to sleep
Yes.
till the noon, right?
Yes.
And you're like, oh, they're just lazy. No, that's actually a very natural thing for them
Mm.
because the body just needs a little bit more time to do all it needs to do during the
That's
sleep.
interesting you saying that. That's quite right, because I've definitely seen like Lachey's just turned 17 recently, and I've noticed that she's needed of late just to sleep a bit more, and she's on study leave at the moment. So I've just let her have a lay in every so often, unless she doesn't have appointments. But you're quite right, because I've seen that definitely there's been a significant change around there. Anna, what's your vision? Where are you headed? Like if you're so passionate about health and fitness and well-being, and in a sense, like people's health is their wealth. What if you could create the utopia lifestyle? What would that look like for people?
Well, that will be definitely a utopia lifestyle. But it will be a lifestyle where you don't have to make the conscious choices. Oh, I can't have a cake. I shouldn't have a cake. I would feel guilty about having a cake. Just a positive attitude towards food and eating anytime you want, the stuff that you want, and you craving healthy stuff. Because what I sometimes find is that people actually don't eat enough. So they want to build muscle, they want to lose weight, but they'll be eating 2 or 3 times a day. And when I'm like, look, I eat 9 times a day
Oh
sometimes, like a
wow!
proper cooked food. And they're like, what? I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what you need to do. I'm like, because if you are active, if you are eating the right food, you can eat as much as you want. And for me, I sometimes have 2 clients, sometimes I have 4 clients. So I just need to replenish. I need to get my body going. So I will eat 9 times a day. So I think it's about being at the point where you already have the knowledge about food, what's good for you. So you don't feel, and if you want a cake, go for a cake because you know you will burn it, you know you will flush it out with the water you drink. You know that's not something to have every day and feel good about it and enjoy what you eat, enjoy yourself. Don't feel like you are dieting because I don't believe in dieting. It has no results. If you are restricting yourself, that's not how to live your life. You have to enjoy every bit and piece you put in your mouth. You have to enjoy your food because it's a very big part of your life. So for me, it's about people just enjoying every moment and not having to consciously think about what to eat or not to eat because they already have the knowledge and it's in their unconscious mind and being active and enjoying the beautiful weather like we have today. Go for a walk, go running, or just spend time out with your kids, just be on the fresh air. So my long-term goal is to actually open a gym where we would create like a healthy community. So it would be a lot of classes rather than gym with a lot of equipment that no one really knows how to use. But but a community of people that they meet, they work out together, they meet for social, they get to know each other, they spend time together, they want to educate themselves on nutrition and mindset as well, and for them to enjoy the time they spend doing for them something for themselves, and for me to have business that doesn't feel like business, that is like really joy that I enjoy helping, because that's what I love. I love to see the results of people get, and to see them happy, to see them progress, to see their health really getting better. That's the real satisfaction I get from this.
Sounds beautiful. I would go to that gym. I don't go to the gym, but I would like to go to that one. How can listeners help you? What are you open to doing? Who would you like to connect with? Is it schools? Is it gym owners? Who are the people that can come together to assist you with this dream?
Well, I think at this moment it's more just sharing this idea as people deciding themselves that they want to change, and just going for it, giving themselves the time and giving me the opportunity to help them in their journey, and just increasing the awareness about the importance of healthy diet, because especially the kids, when we see what they eat, I feel very sad.
Yes.
To see that. And when I get mothers and they tell me, okay, so from now on I will have to cook like this for myself, but I will keep cooking whatever I keep cooking for my kids. I'm like, do you want your kids to get to the point where they are right now, where they have to go through the hardship of changing the conditioning and the habits? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, help them now. Give them all the knowledge and skills they need to be happy, because the obesity of kids is growing. There's much more kids who have actually problems with keeping attention at school, because they are on so much sugar that they are literally high on sugar throughout the day, and we call it ADHD. But I'm like, no, just cut out their sugar, they will calm down.
Very true.
So all those kind of things, I think just increasing the awareness that, because if you go these days to McDonald's and you order a salad, which they by the way have in McDonald's, plain salad with W.O.R.K.S. If you order that, people will ask you, "Are you on diet?" And I'm like,
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, since when is it a norm to have Big Mac with chips and a cold fizzy drink with a ton of ice in it? But when you choose a healthy meal, you are being clear, you are on diet. Why are you trying to lose weight? Why are you doing this? So I think that needs a big shift, because at the moment the norm is to buy burgers, chips, coke, and eat crisps and cake. And if you don't do that, or drink a lot, or smoke, or whatever, and if you don't do that, the society looks at you at the moment like you are the weird one if you are healthy. And I'm like, where did we get to the point? When did it come like that?
Very good point. If you was to write a book with somebody about health, who would you like to have the book for written by? Do you have anyone you admire in the health industry?
There is quite a few people that I'm inspired by. And in the UK, it would be definitely the body coach. I love his recipe. He's awesome. And I like the fact that he shows people that you can have really, like what I was saying about the food, that you can have really tasty food, really vibrant food, and it can be healthy. And that the workouts that you do, it doesn't have to be a heavy workout to the gym. You can just spend 10, 15, 20 minutes a few times a week, and it can make a massive difference.
Yes.
And I love that he's trying to get schools to be involved, that he is doing these live workouts for schools. I think it was actually today in the morning. Maybe it was
Okay.
one. Yeah, so he gets involved in that as well in the community, which I really love and keep it.
Excellent. So the body coach, if you're listening to this, sorry Anna, if you're listening to this, Anna Ogunisi and Tosin Ogunisi would be happy to connect and see where that venture could take you. You're on the same mission. You want to give people a healthy body, mind and healthy soul so they can go on and be the human beings they desire to be on this planet, because without our health, what do we have?
So. Yes. And I would love to learn his marketing strategy as well.
Maybe you can put out, if there's any listeners that have marketing skills, perhaps get in touch with Anna. One thing that I really believe in, we all have our own sacred gifts. And clearly your one is assisting people with their health. So if you're anything like me, I like to do and be with people, but the whole marketing stuff is like, no, please someone else do that for me. So, you know, if there's any listeners that would like to help out, at the end of the day, you're going to be paying it forward. So it's helping other people change their lifestyles. And there's so much that Anna and her husband Tosin can teach, and maybe you could do some skill swapping. I'll leave that up to you. But if there's anyone that has some excellent marketing skills that can give Anna an assistance to get her message out there, please connect with us or connect with Anna with the details that she's kindly shared. So Anna, for listeners at home, what's the key message you want to leave them with before we end the show?
Listen to your body, because the body knows the best what it needs. So if your body is tired, give yourself some rest. And if you have some health issues, don't look at the symptoms, always look at the root cause. Because often we tend to deal with the symptoms in the head. So, and ask for help, because no one knows it all. You know, there are areas such as marketing where I need help, and or mindset where my husband comes in and helps me and aids. And I have the knowledge that other people might like or need a bit more of, or some skills. So just feel free to get in touch. And what I always tell people, you know, if you want to just have a chat, it won't cost you anything, you know, just your time pretty much. But I love to offer free consultations. So if people want to get in touch on Facebook, on social media, or if they are local in Norwich and the Richmond area, they can, you know, I love to do that. I really love to sit down with people, get to know them better, and equip them at least with few tips that they can go and apply in their lifestyles.
That's beautiful. I'm sure you would have picked up some messages, listeners, that because I certainly have, and I think we have to take our health seriously now, not tomorrow. Let's not wait for something to show up and then us working from that. Prevention's always better than cure. So let's do what we need to do to maintain our bodies, you know, fuel our bodies in a sensible way. I'm certainly going to be speaking to Tosin and Anna about our health as a family, because we're always on the go, and it's good to just know what we can and can't do. I've really learned a lot, so thank you. And I hope listeners, I hope you've taken away a lot of the tips. The video will be ready shortly. And if there's anyone listening that are from media outlets, TV, magazine, radio, you know, Anna and her husband are open to being contacted for any interviews. They have a big mission. There's a lot that they can do to help change this world. Thank you so much for being a guest, Anna.
Thank you, Sabrina, for inviting me. It's been a great pleasure, and I love what you do, because, you know, me and my husband are all about giving more, being more, doing more, and so we really love to share. So if anyone just needs some tips, if anyone wants to get a bit more knowledge or an article about health, mindset, or anything, just please get in touch. Feel free, you know, get in touch to discuss what exactly do you need, and then we can see if we are meant for each other and if we can help each other and serve you.
Offline, remind me to connect you with Malcolm Sinclair. He's got a book, a magazine. I've interviewed him recently, and he's got Your Health Matters magazine. So he's looking for people to do articles. So remind me, and it's on video. So remind me to connect you. So we'll do that. Absolutely. Take care. Have a lovely afternoon. Speak to you soon. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge.
Bye. Bye.